In Genesis chapter 22 verse 17 to see that God is doing and he's planning and orchestrating a nation to come forward, that a nation that would be a blessing to all people, where he said those that will bless you will be blessed and those that will curse you will be cursed. Now we had Genesis chapter 22 verse 17. That in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, and as the sands which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gates of thy enemy. Now, and in thy seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. This is beautiful. Please go back and read this, the substance of it. I want to carry you to show you that the story intertwines so beautifully. So it's always this magnificent blessing. So he says here in Genesis chapter 24 verse 1. And Abraham was old and well stricken in age, and the Lord blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said unto his elder servant of his house, that ruled over all that he had, put, I pray thee, thy hand upon my thigh, and I will make thee swear by the Lord, the God of heaven, and the God of the earth, that thou should not take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I dwell, but thou shalt go unto my country and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac. So we can see that Isaac is born now. Isaac is in the earth. Okay, now we're going to skip, and we're going to find out who Isaac's wife was. Okay, so let's go to Genesis 24 verse 60. And they blessed Rebekah, so his wife, and said unto her, thou art my sister, be thou mother of thousands of millions, and let thy seed possess the gates of those that hate them. Okay, so we can see that Isaac's wife is Rebekah. Okay, let's go down to that same chapter, verse 67. Could you read that? Does somebody read?
And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent, and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. And he loved her. And Isaac was comforted after his mother's death.
Okay, so we can see that this lineage from where he said Isaac, you can see that he would have a child, told him his name. Now let's see that she has children. Let's go. 24, Genesis 24, verse 21. What does it say?
24, 21?
Genesis 25, verse 21.
Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was barren. The Lord answered his prayer, and his wife Rebekah became pregnant. The babies jostled each other within her, and she said, why is this happening to me? So she went to inquire of the Lord. The Lord said to her, 2 nations are in your womb.
What did he say?
2 nations.
We followed it all the way from there. It's going to come all the way up. This thing is about nations of people. And when you miss this, you miss the real substance of the Bible. Okay, go ahead.
And 2 peoples from within you will be separated. 1 people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger. When the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. The first to come out was red, and his whole body was like a hairy garment. So they named him Esau. After this, his brother came out, with his hand grasping Esau's heel. So he was named Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when Rebekah gave birth to him.
So we can see this story. And remember, if we go down to that same chapter, verse 23, 7. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the fields, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sold portage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said unto Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. So Edom. And Jacob said, Sell me thy birthright. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point of death, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. So we can see that Jacob's birthright was being sold. Okay? So let us go and see what transpired with the two sons, the two brothers that came from Isaac. There was Esau and there was Jacob. Let's go to Genesis chapter 27. Genesis chapter 27, everybody will have a chance to read. It's a long chapter because this, what I'm showing to you, it all hooks up, just like a train. And therefore, you're proving it by the story itself. Therefore, you cannot be misled in believing in something that you can't prove. You can actually prove through the story content that the story concerning that we're reading is compatible from the beginning to the present of chapter 27, starting from Genesis chapter 10 to Genesis chapter 27. Now we're going to have to read this whole from verse 1 all the way to something like verse 42, but we will eventually, so I'm going to ask you to read at intervals. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old, and his eyes was dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau, his eldest son. I'm at Genesis chapter 27. And said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here am I. And he said, Behold now, I am old, I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapon, thy quiver and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat such as I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison. Now, from that part of the story, remember, Rebekah went and inquired from God, and it says, and she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, 2 manners of people shall be separated from thy bowels. The one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. So when she heard her husband getting ready to pass the blessing, she remembered that what was said, because she inquired from God, because this was the first time she was pregnant. She wanted to know what was all this rumbling in her stomach. So God is orchestrating who will receive the blessing. Even in the New Testament it say, before the children had done good or evil, that it might come by what? Election. Not by works. By election. So we can see that the mother Rebekah heard that Isaac was going to bless Esau, and therefore she said, and Rebekah spake to Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meats, that I may eat, and bless thee before the Lord, before my death. So now she's telling him, he said, Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according that which I command thee. I'm at verse 8 of chapter 27 of Genesis. Go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meats for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may what eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will feel me, and I will seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go fetch them. And he went and fetched, and brought them to his mother. And his mother made him savory meats, such as his father loveth. And Rebekah took goodly remnant of his eldest son, Esau. Remember, it was that he said, and the older shall serve the younger. This, so when people say, well, Jacob stole his birth, Jacob didn't steal nothing. I'm proving it to you right now, right on these pages. Jacob didn't steal nothing. It said, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob, her youngest son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meats and the bread which she had prepared into the hands of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said, My father. And he said, Here am I. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou biddest me. Arise, I pray thee, set and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord thy God brought it to me. And Isaac said unto him, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near, and Isaac his father, and he felt him and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, as his brother Esau's hand. So he blessed him, and he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat, and he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his remnant, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of the fields which the Lord has blessed. Could somebody read from there? I want you to read this blessing.
May God give you of heaven's dew, and of earth's richness, and abundance of grain and new wine. May nations serve you, and peoples bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers, and may the sons of your mother bow down to you. May those who curse you be cursed, and those who bless you be blessed.
Isn't that beautiful? That's a beautiful blessing. Wouldn't you want to know who gets that blessing? That's a beautiful blessing. He says, Therefore, may God give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that cursed thee, and blessed be everyone that blessed thee. That's beautiful. You know, I say that prayer every night, because that's my prayer. That's your prayer. But I want to prove it to you. So when you say it, you ain't saying it because it ain't yours. You saying it because it's yours to have. This is your blessing. This is for what you should say to your God, who is your God. But let me prove this to you. What it say? He said, prove all things, hold fast to that which is good. Okay, so I want you to prove it. It said, and it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made and ended up blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out of the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from hunting, and he also had made savory meats, and brought it unto his father. He said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of the son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled with very exceedingly, and said, Where is he that has taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thy cometh, and have blessed him. And what does he say there? And yea, what? He shall be blessed. In other words, he couldn't change it back. So who was giving? Who's going to give the blessing? In other words, God sanctioned it. Isaac said it. You understand? But God sanctioned the blessing. That's why he said, and yea, it can't be turned back.
But didn't he do it he didn't do it right though.
Wait, but see, what did I got finished? I just got finished telling you he didn't steal anything. It was, if you go back from the very time his mother inquired, it told what it said.
It said the older one will
serve the younger. And she knew it. She knew it. That's why she knew he would get away with it.
She placed him in the way so that he would get it, but it wasn't right.
But no, it was right, because you have to realize it was she went and inquired of God. She went, go back and read it. Let's go back and read it. She said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, 2 manners of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. See, this was not the words of Rebecca. This was the words that God, I'm going to show you, even in the New Testament, say, before the children had done good or evil, that it might come by what? Election. Election. In other words, if God didn't elect me, and I was on the merit of my transgression, I wouldn't be here. Neither would you or anybody else. But that's right. You've been elected to hear this. Do you know how many people would love to hear this? They've been tricked, been bamboozled. To hear the truth is so sweet. It frees you. It makes you know, because most people say, oh, Jacob stole. Jacob didn't steal anything. You can see it right here. So let me finish. And then, like I said, if you follow the story, just go back and read it. That's all. And then if you find it wrong, come back and tell me. I'll be glad to talk to you. This is fact. We all can read. We all can read. My father, it says, okay, he says, let's go back where he said, okay, let's go back. And he said, and Esau heard the words of his father. He cried with a great and exceedingly bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, my father. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety, and has taken away that blessing. Yeah, wait. Read. You got to understand the story. I wouldn't lie to you, because you can read. Let me tell you the story. And he said, is not he rightfully named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright. And behold, now he take away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all thy brethren hast thou given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Could you read the blessing that Isaac gave him, please? 30. Go ahead.
And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall do of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from all ye men.
Okay, go ahead. Read 49. 41. Go ahead.
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing, wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand, and then will I slay my brother Jacob.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him, Behold thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, proposing to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise. Flee thou to Laban my brother to Haran, and tarry with him a few days until thy brother's fury turn away.
So we can see that the circumstances of this story, we're going to go through the whole Bible. And you just go back and read it. I won't miss one stroke because it's true. But the whole thing, we must identify who are these people that got this great and wonderful blessing. That they are the blessing of the world. Because this blessing that the world is not known or they're not conscious of, how can the world be blessed if they don't know these people? God didn't put anything in heaven. He put it on earth in a people. He didn't know, ain't nothing in heaven. Because when you find out where heaven is, then you know how to address yourself. But see, you'll find out that as I go on, and I want to continue to tell you that Jacob, he leaves, and we're at Genesis chapter 28, I'm going to start at verse 10. And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went towards Haran. And he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of a stone of the place and put them for his pillow, and laid down in the place to sleep. And he dreamt, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angel of the Lord ascended and descended upon it. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham, thy father, and the God of Isaac. The land wherewith thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed. Isn't this a lineage? Isn't it going from what? Starting from whose name was changed? Isn't it? It's right on down. The story is going. It didn't deviate one bit. Not one bit. And he says, and thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west and to the east, and to the north and to the south. And in thee and in thy seed, what? Shall all the families of the earth be blessed. We started out with that. Here it is again. So we can see that it's the same story. It's the same place talking of a blessing. Now, I want you to read from that part and see that Jacob goes into the place and he meets Laban. And he eventually marries. And he has 12 sons, which are the 12 tribes of Israel. Right? Okay, now, let us go and see, so that I want to bring you to an understanding, so that you might understand that this is the same person, that the baton of rulership is passed, and these people are a living example that God, His presence is in the earth, because God, who is God, lives in these people. Now Jacob goes to Laban. I want you to read the story. And as he's coming back home, he meets the angel. We're on Genesis chapter 32, verse 22. And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives, and his 2 woman servants and his 11 sons, and passed over the 4th Jacob. And he took them and sent them over the brook, and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of Jacob, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint. Because somebody, as he wrestled with him, could you somebody read that in 26? And he said, go ahead.
And he said, let me go, for thy day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've reached the essence of what the Bible is about. It's about the children of Israel. From this point, it's all about Israel. It's not, if you don't believe me, when you go home, start reading. I just skipped a lot because I want to bring you to this point. But we're going to end at this time, and when I see you another time, we will begin and we will be talking about the children of Israel, so that you might know, who are they? Who are these people that God has given such a magnificent blessing? You should want to know, so that you can do right. He said, those that will bless them will be blessed. Those that will curse them will be cursed. That's why I want you to look up religion, nation, nationality, and captive. Because all of this is relative to you understanding who you are. So and the God that I call on is a God, Yahweh. And that's why you must learn a little Hebrew. And we call him Yahweh. And I say this night, may Yahweh God bless each and every one of y'all. And I thank you for your patience. And may I see you again. And when you can go through the whole Bible. This whole Bible is about the children of Israel. And you must know who they are. And once you can identify them, you're on your way. You can go and sit in the church, which is good. But go and sit there having knowledge of the truth of who you are. Then you can sit and listen to the devil. But until you know who you are, you're wasting your time, because everybody going to fool you. You are the children of Israel. The brothers and sisters in the Caribbean. See, Caribbean means cannibal. That's what it means. When they say I'm from the Caribbean islands, because cannibals inhabit those islands. So I'm saying to you, they are people, the Indians. Yes. This man that you call white, he's your brother Esau, but we'll get into that. And I'd like to say, may Yahweh bless each and every one of y'all. And Kim, I thank you for the use of your house, and may the spirit of Yahweh God bless your house, bless your children, bless your friends, and may you overcome any obstacle. Bless your family, your mother, your father, and all them. And thank you. I really appreciate this. May Yahweh bless each and every one. Shalom.
Shalom.